As a guy, let's talk carefully, but let's be honest, because this story is both painful and necessary. This is not an attack. This is not a campaign. This is not nostalgia. This is history and accountability. That is a guy, this series is called Freedom Fighter, Death of a Giant. Again, this is not about hating the ANC, and also, this is not about campaigning for the ANC. It's about truth. How a movement that carried hopes for millions became a symbol of disappointment for many. How heroes lost their way, and why people still hold power to decide their future. The African National Congress was not born in power. It was born in pain. In 1912, black South Africans were shut out of land, shut out of politics, out of humanity, and the ANC emerged as the response to exclusion. Petition first, then protest, then resistance. Not because violence was loved, but because silence was killing us. Under apartheid, ANC became more than an organization. It became hope. It carried the dreams of workers, of students, of women, of prisoners, exiles. People risked everything for the future they might never see. Some were jailed, some were tortured, some were assassinated, and many never came home. This is important because freedom was not free. Remembering apartheid is not campaigning for any political party. It is remembering what we survived. It's reminding leaders what happens when people are pushed too far. In 1994, the impossible happened. The ANC became the government. Former prisoners became presidents. Former exiles became ministers. The giant had arrived. The people believed, at last, a government that knows our pain. But power changes everything, especially when it meets money. It's important to note that ANC did not inherit a clean state. It inherited a corrupt one, empty vaults, destroyed records, unequal wealth. But instead of dismantling corruption completely, some learned from it. Slowly, the language changed from service to tenders, from liberation to connections, from the people to the network. Corruption stopped being an exception. It became a system. Deals were made, not always for the people, but for the power, for loyalty, for protection. State resources became political currency. Who you knew mattered more than what you served. Then came the silence. Whistleblowers disappeared. Investors were sidelined. Journalists were threatened. Some people did not only lose jobs, they lost their lives. Political assassination rose, especially at local government level. Councillors killed, activists shot, witnessed silenced, not by apartheid police, but under democracy. This is where the heartbreak lives. ANC was never supposed to fear their own people. It was supposed to protect them. And yet many communities today feel abandoned. No water, no electricity, no jobs, but someone, somewhere is still eating. Now, okay, let's be clear here. Criticizing the ANC does not mean we're longing for apartheid. And for me to tell apartheid history is not voting advice. It's a warning. History teaches us one lesson very well. When leaders forget their people, people eventually remind them. And when reminders are ignored, chaos follows. This is not a threat. This is a pattern. Apartheid ignored pain and the country exploded. Any government that forgets this plays with fire. But here's the part that they don't like to hear. The people still have power. Not just on voting day, but every day. Power to question, power to remember, power to reject lies, power to demand better. Freedom did not end in 1994. It began there. And freedom requires maintenance. If we don't hold leaders accountable, giants fall. If we surrender memory, corruption thrives. Tanasaka, this series is not about destroying a movement. It's about asking if it still serves the people that built it. Tanasaka, episode 2 exposed how corruption took root inside the ANC, from liberation credentials to tender politics. Because giants don't fall overnight. They collapse slowly. Follow for more History Decoded.